So that's what we can see at the moment, the ceiling. And if we don't tilt our head backwards, but we just do our eyes backwards, we see a bit more of the ceiling. If we tilt our head backwards, and that's what we can see. It's telling us to rotate our camera or something now. If we go forwards, that's what we can see. We turned on our mini moons. If we go left, that's what we can see. If we go right, we've got them in there. You can't see them as well on the camera. I don't think you can zoom, can you? Oh, you can zoom. You can zoom and it's live. Yay. That's interesting. You continue going right. That's what you can see. Go back to halfway and go diagonal. Diagonal. X marks the spot. So our body, I don't know if you can see it now, we did have our legs wide up on the wall. You can't turn on the torch, so you can't see. So there's 1 foot and there's 1 foot. They were a bit higher up because you could have them either wide of the window. And we've been doing this yoga position as well with the weight blanket on, helps push the bones and the ligaments back in. And first of all, we had our playlist of 3 songs, which starts off with the Spirit Science, Spirit Mysteries, transformation, 7-day transformation meditation, and then it's the 444 like angel meditation from that soul they're free, these ones. The other one wasn't free, but these ones are free from Elizabeth Harper, sealedwithlove.com. And first of all, we had those meditations on, starting with his and then her 2 in the right ear, going into our right hemisphere brain, and then into the left ear. We're finding it's a bit better today compared to yesterday, but things are really shifting up. So we've had extreme physical pain in the body again. We've been really good at feeling our way through the pain because we've been having a lot of it. But yesterday afternoon it was all too much and we had to succumb to having our weed coconut butter in some hot milk and honey, and then we went to the summer house and did our meditations and listened to that beautiful Mayanne lady, and we calmed and had a few hours rest and still time, which was really needed, and grateful and thankful for it. And I can feel ourselves now shaking and just feeling blur. I don't think you can switch the camera when it's on live, so you can't turn to see my face. Or maybe we can, I don't know if I really want to. We'll give it a go. It's embarrassing. And there we go. We've just been having our gardener lady once a week on Friday that we've been had human interaction with. It's been since the 19th of August, the last time we saw our friend. And we're not able to make any human, proper, real, I don't know, we could have seen her yesterday or we could see her tonight, but we're not in a position to be able to see her at the moment. Why is that? It's been going on in our head why that is. Come on guys, can you share or not? No. I think we're going through another round of, I think the younger adults are going through another round of fear of relationships, people, connecting, because we know that addiction for us anyway is a lack of connection. And so they've been wanting to have a smoke. We don't smoke tobacco anymore. And that's why we have it in the milk. But if we do have a smoke, we use a herbal tea bag. And we've got different herbal tea bags of the calm and the green tea. So we'll use one of them if we do have one. But it's very rare, and we do our best at not having one. And just in the meditation then, when we were upside down and doing whatever, it came to us that for us, addiction is a lack of connection. And so we're needing to connect. So it doesn't make sense to us why we won't allow our friend to come round. I think from a best of the awareness of what's been going on inside, which is really hard, and why we need to do this to get it out, to then know what it is, then to put it all together, is because as soon as we see her, it will shift the networks and do some more shifting. We'll speak to her about what we've perceived, and we know that what the younger ones perceived, because they're just kids and they just have kids' networks in the brain, will be distorted perceptions and not accurate. And that causes more stuff for other ones of us. And we're not really ready to go down that yet, but that comes up because it came up. There was a couple of YouTubers that, are interactive with us, but then they've stopped. One took something that we said personally when we shared some information with him, and took it personally as if we were saying that he was wrong, but it wasn't. Our intention was that we like to learn lots of different bits of information, not that there's any wrong or right, because we don't really see there's a wrong or right. So we must have used language, or maybe, I don't know, there's the thing that we must have used. It must be our fault. But what we're attempting to learn and develop is that it doesn't matter if it's anyone's fault or if it's wrong or right, because in the world of duality, it's wrong or right, but it's not about being wrong or right. People get triggered, and people do the best they can when they are triggered, and sometimes they're not able to manage that trigger and they'll lash out or they'll say something, whatever. So maybe we did use the wrong language, but it's perfectly understandable with our situation if we did use the wrong language. So we did the best we could in that moment. And so we've been trying to tell each other and the younger ones that it's not about wrong or right, it's not about any of that. We have to look at it from a different perception or a different perspective. And they do all the sacred geometry of the breath work in the eye patterns, so that's why we started this video with that. And we forget, but we do remember when we say it lots on the moon transit readings, that if we have our eyes closed, it's our internal reality. So if it gets too much pain or too much whatever, I don't know, just too much, because it's just so much in the feeling. It doesn't seem to be like anyone. I don't know, we can't put words to it because it's not like this. Yes, it stresses us out. So we remember to open our eyes. And then it's like you look round and you see all the things that you need to do or haven't done, but it's no change the perspective into the things that you have done rather than the things that you haven't done, because we've been really productive and the house is doing really well. And then it linked on to things that people say to always let go of stuff or get rid of stuff. And we're like, well, maybe we need to get rid of loads of stuff that's like from our past, and that will help. And then it's like, but we use it and it's good, and if we get rid of it, we're just going to have to buy more, and we can't buy more because we want benefits. So what's the other perspective to look at it from that way? And then we saw this tablecloth, and it reminded us of our past and brought a memory into play, because we bought that in Bali when we were, don't know, maybe 18. It was the first time we went to Bali, so it could have been then. Or the second time we went to Bali was after Australia. So when what age? When 26 we were then. So that would have been 98 or 2006. So then the other perspective made us realise that these things are there for the memories to help us heal on our brain. So that's different to what other people say again. So it always gets very confusing, because we always have to constantly question everything with all these people to say to do this way or that way. to then go back to our safe heart, and that we have trust and belief in ourselves now, and we need to do it our way. But this is the questioning modality. But when one questions from a network of a 2-year-old or a 4-year-old, and I don't really understand their brain networks or how they work, really, because I'm more of an adult, but I'm not the complete adult ones. The complete adult ones are very wise and smart, but then they don't have access of the body, so they don't come out, probably unless we get stoned. So it's all very confusing and very difficult and challenging, and that's what we're going through at the moment. And so we're going to try and put off having the smoke, because we've got a little Miss Dotty book we want to read, and we want to finish that other black book. So this is our way of connecting. And it's also our way of sharing, even though we don't share in adult form or conventional form or perfect form or way that they tell you to. This is what we do because it helps us, and it will reach the people it will reach. It will reach the right people that need to hear it or see it, that will help them and themselves do something, or it might help them understand us better, or we don't know. We just work with our intuition and the energies, and there's a lot more to it than really I know that's talking right now. The I that's talking right now don't really know, but we know there's lots more to it. So we wanted to show that our new morning, because when we doing our yoga teacher training, it was really hard to do, and we didn't have enough time to do all the practice that we were meant to do. And so we started incorporating yoga into everyday life. And so that's what we're doing. We're incorporating Western perception of yoga and yoga asana and breath into everyday life. But Eastern perception of it, because your yamas are your number 1 limb, and that's your internal moral conduct. So that means like putting healthy food in your body and organic food, but it doesn't have to be organic all the time if you can't afford it, because if you can do Reiki, but anyone can do Reiki. You don't need to be attuned or a master. It's just if you get in tune with the energies in your body, and you can make the food more nutritious. But so it's internal moral conduct about how we treat ourselves with our thoughts, and what we put in our body with clean water, purified water and food, etc. But and lying or not lying, and changing perspectives and thoughts. But it's also about number 2's your niyamas. No, see that niyamas, we just told you your niyamas, which is number 2, not number 1. Number 1's your yamas, which is your external moral conduct. Niyamas is internal, and that's about washing your immediate external of your body and washing and cleaning your teeth. But then it's your immediate external that's not your body, which is the environment of your house, and that's like also we're getting into Bruce Lipton epigenetics, and we're doing quite good on that. And then your asanas is your 4th limb, your postures. Then pranayamas, your 5th limb, rhythmic breath control, and then your 6th limb is your pratyahara, freedom from desires of your senses. And we got lots better on that one with food and stuff, because we don't eat sweets or chocolate anymore at all. Even when we go to the shop, we don't buy it. We still do cheese, but it's something to do with the dairy. And we don't do that very often. It's about every couple of weeks we have cheese, and then none, because we get our shop from Real Food Box now. And we're hopefully going to ask them if they can get goats ones, so that then there'll be no cow's dairy. And we have goats powdered dried milk for our treats of our drinks there, and we don't go mad on that like we were. It's lasting us longer. So those patterns are changing, and it's all about changing the patterns, and we do it different again to everyone, because when we got our gait scan on our feet done with the chiropractic lady, she couldn't do anything for us with soles, because we didn't follow the bad pattern, but we didn't follow the good pattern. But that makes sense, because the pattern's always changing, and we're doing so much good for ourselves all the time anyway. So all these people thinking that we don't attempt it, and hypnotherapist that says we've got pseudo-memory syndrome, and that we're on Groundhog Day, and people that made us growing up, making us believe that we don't have the the physical pain and we're making it up. We're not making any of it up, because no one would make stuff up to put them in the psych ward. No one would make stuff up to put them in this situation. We're just very different to everyone else, and everyone else can't understand us. But we've always tried our best and done our best and above and beyond. And we're going to be exceptional when we get through all this and can grow up our generational consciousness and get it older. And so we're doing this, and we're going to read the books out later, because we always get confused with that, of whether we're meant to be doing the house more or the books more or the whatever. It's so hard to learn to balance or understand. But the more we do these cycles and question, the more we do. And so we can't see our friend yet, because we're still going through some processing that we need to do on our own before we have that pattern and that come into play. And we know we've got to ask, I suppose we're fearful about losing more people and losing more friends, and I don't know, there's a lot of fear we're dancing through. But we've just done our Akashic prayer thingy, which we started 9 days ago, and we're going to read that one out. I'm going to share that one too, because it's a double full moon this Thursday on the 1st of October. And rather than opening our 10-10 portal on the 10th of October, we're going to open it on the 1st of October, because 10 backwards is 1. And so, and it's a double moon and the veil's thin. And we trust now that we're not going to get ourselves in any situations like last time that put us in the psych ward, because we don't want to go back there. It's not where we belong, and we don't deserve it, and it's harmful to us. But it's what we needed then in the bigger picture, because the energies tried to get us into hospital, but we're even more fearful of hospital, because we don't want any operations, and we don't want to be poked and prodded, and we don't want to have to look up at all the bright lights. And so hospital, even though hospital is more accurate for what we need physically, they don't have the knowledge or the understanding yet to serve us, and we don't have the ability to communicate to them. And that's why we're doing this also, because this gives us the ability in learning to communicate and understand. But yeah, so we're glad we've connected and shared and done this, because this will be very good for the other ones to watch back and learn more about us. And we're doing the intermediators between the very younger ones and them ones, and then they can put it all together. And that reminds me of, we were shorter than our father. We were shorter in height, but we had longer legs than him, which meant we had a short torso. And he had a long torso, so he had short legs, long torso, and we had a short torso, long legs. But it's better to have a long torso, because if you don't have a long torso, which is your trunk, then your organs aren't functioning properly, and they're not supported in your body very well. And this is how the dynamics of people's electromagnetic fields work with each other. You see, there were no females in the house. There was just us, which was highly hypersensitive, and 2 males. And it's not their fault, it's just circumstances. If you look at it from the perspective of we all came down to incarnate on Earth and have experiences, then we asked for all of this. We're just not very happy that we asked for all of this in this moment when we are getting through all this. But for a highly hypersensitive, autistic child with all these ailments, but then this a massive, amazing geniusness to hide it all as well, or whatever, or learn to hide it, because that's what we had to do to accommodate the needs of them around us. Me and brother used to fight very badly, and he was 3.5 years older than us. He kicked a hole in the downstairs toilet once to get to us, because that was the only room with a lock on it, along with his bedroom. And when we locked ourselves in his bedroom, he climbed up the drain pipe to try and get to us. So we had very male dominant energy, which scared us, and no wonder we're scared of males. And then with the trunk thing, Ian was really tall. And we're quite tall, but we're not our potential tall. But we're sorting out our trunk now, and sorting out the organs and the visceral fascia and everything. And we're doing a very, very good job. And when we get to communicate between all of these different alters in us and pass on all the information, continuing with the processes that we use, we're going to have something great to share. Hi. Okay, I think they've done their sharing, because we've shifted. So what do I do now if we've shifted? I'm going to turn the camera around again, because I don't know, for them they need to have the camera looking at them, but they don't make the eye contact. I attempt to make eye contact, but I'm not comfortable with making eye contact and seeing myself, so I'm just going to give a quick tour of the place. Let's incorporate the video diary. So we're watching our Tibetan bowl singing. It's not singing, it's just Tibetan bowls. So if we put it down, don't know if you can see that, Tibetan singing bowl tones for positive energy, 741 hertz, miracle solfeggio frequencies. There's 5 watching. We made it to 6 when we started, so someone's come off it, and we were the 11th like, and now there's 12. So 6 was half of 12, and that's very good. We don't often put those ones on up there, but they're one which was good. We're about to put our bed away. This is pretty much tidy. We've just got our shopping list. We've got our shopping list here of the things we need to buy, and these are the forks left over from the 2 reads before the Pisces, so the Aquarius and the Capricorn. We need to fill them in on the information, so we'll finish those 2 jobs today. We're on a 2 and a 1 candle, a set of 2 candles and a set of 1 candle for the fire elemental consciousness, because it was 12 on the thing on that I just showed you of the music, and this was all neatly, we're ready up to do this, and this was all neatly done, but the Ace of Cups has stepped out because we are starting the new Ace of Cups, so that makes sense to us. We've cleared a lot of the stuff off on the tables and put those cards away, and we've lined up all these ones neater, which are the ones we've read out, but we haven't read out from 4. We've done half of 4. I think we've done 4 as in the number 4, so 0, 4, 13, 22, but we haven't actually read out the different perspectives from all the packs of 4, and they're the inner child ones, so we want to finish that book and start that book, and maybe start the weaving one. So we've got a few things ready. This is our lemon balm, which is doing really well, and drinking that moon charged water of that has been amazing. And we're going to put out, that was under the new moon, under Virgo, for the health, and we've got a bit left, so we're going to have one more drink from it and then put another one out for both the full moons. And there's our basil, he's great, we like smelling him. So somewhere we put our inspiration up instead of focused. We did have our focus emotion up, that normally works really well for us. And we've got our books here. So this is Neve Deborah Coleman's shelf of books that we read out, and there's the 2 books there, one for the cards and one for the books, so we can start keeping track of it on the YouTube channels. That's our Shinto shelf, and there's the books for it, and then that's the Noni Snowflake shelf, but it'll be a while before we get hers. These are the next ones that we want to read as well. Anita Morjami, Dying to Be Me, Secret Language of Body. I think they've posted that of our SoundCloud. That's got a good developing a practice in it, and then we can put PDFs up as well for people, and the Sevenfold Journey. So they're one important ones. Who went a bit mad in the kitchen. It was a horrible day yesterday. The kitchen's still not doing too bad. It's all been like rinsed, no stagnant stuff, but we do need to put a dishwater on. That's water from a bath that we're going to put in the basil to feed it. We've got our supplements lined up there, so it's generally pretty good. Last night we managed to just boil up some beetroot and potato and carrots so that we could then make a mash for dinner, which worked well. And we put this on yesterday, so even in our really, really bad days now, we soaked them the day before and they started going off. It's chickpeas, but we put in black beans, and I think we're going to make hummus with it. And we might even eat this for dinner, I don't know, or we might try and make some bean burgers. I don't know what's going to happen. I never know till it happens. But yeah, we spilt, there's loads of towels around the place because we had lots of water accidents and spillages yesterday. But yeah, there's a diary catch up of what's going on. We'll see what actually happens today. Zen's in the summer house because he finds it a bit much. We've got all our peace lilies there.